Going on, my G's, Fifth Borough G. More thoughts about the George Floyd thing. Um, I want to share. I spoke. I went to the demonstration, a small demonstration, yesterday in Staten Island, in front of the 120 precinct. There was a small demonstration about, I want to say, a group of 70 people, 80 people was out in front of the precinct, and they were speaking about George Floyd and having a mini demonstration. I was there. I listened, and it was sort of inspiring. And I talked to police everywhere, and I turned around and I walked up to a couple policemen, and I wanted to have a conversation. I said, "Excuse me, officer," because I this idea was brought to me from somewhere, and I remembered and held on to it. And I wanted to really ask a policeman, a real policeman. So I went to a police officer and I said, "Excuse me, officer. This has been a problem for a long time. We all know this. We all know that all cops aren't bad. We all know that there's bad apples in the bunch. That all cops aren't bad. So, the good cops in the force, why not police ourselves before it gets to this? Why not the good cops in the force go to the bad cops and say, yo, dude, you gotta calm it down, man. You gotta tone it down. Or if he's a little extra aggressive, come on, man. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta police. That man that had his knee on George Floyd's neck had, I want to say, 16 citations before this incident. 16. Now, I understand a man has to earn a living and feed his family. Everyone does. 16 citations is excessive. 10 is excessive. After 5, I would be looking at the guy and be like, listen, what's going on with you that you keep getting these citations? Why are you so aggressive? Can't you calm it down a little bit, bro? For us, for everyone else, you know. There's internal affairs, but I guess internal affairs isn't doing their job right, or they're getting paid off, or they're getting grooved, or something. Because, there are too many good cops not to weed out the bad ones. Why don't you good cops say, listen, bro, you're being a little aggressive, or go to a supervisor, listen, my partner's been a little aggressive lately. I think he's going through something at home. It might be affecting him on his job. Nobody wants to be a snitch. That's fine. But at the same time, why not avoid things like this that's going on? Why not avoid cops using unnecessary force on individuals? Not even just black men, on anybody. Especially black people. Why are we getting targeted and we're a minority? This country is 70%, 60%, 65% white. It's majority white. Black people are in the minority, and we're mixed with a bunch of other races and cultures. But we're the majority of people incarcerated. We're the majority of people getting killed by cops. Cops killing people is another show. It's another show. It's an example of the divide in cultures, a divide in the way people are brought up. Like, if people are brought up together, we can understand better. But if you're brought up separate and then you want to try to police one side that you don't
meet me, big boy,
then that's going to be a problem. That's what the problem is. If people police themselves, that'd be different. You know what I mean? But it's disproportionate to people in the area that's the minority that are applying for cops than the white people applying for. That's the chemistry that's going on. People that don't know about another people are trying to police the people according to laws that are made by the same people that don't know nothing about the people. You know what I mean? I know you don't. All right. If more minorities became cops to police in minority neighborhoods, maybe it would be better. But that's not right, because we're supposed to be mixing. That's like having black people in white areas trying to say that they could police out there and know exactly how to act out there. because it's two sides to every coin. You have to look at both sides. So back to the conversation with the policeman. He said, he said, that's true, and that's messed up. He's like, but what about all the shootings that go on? We have to deal with. What about all we deal with? He said something like an average of 4 shootings a day in America in a city. He's like, why? What happens to all of those? What happened when And I told him, I'm like, I understand. It's like, but things like this that happen are highlighted. I equated it to airplanes. People are scared of airplanes. It's almost exactly the same. People are scared of cops like people are scared of airplanes. Now, airplanes go up and down hundreds of times a day. I would venture to say thousands, definitely thousands and thousands of flights go up and down every day. One plane crashes every 5-6 years, maybe. Everybody's scared to fly. Why? It's safer than being in the car. But yet, you hear about people dying, and you don't. That's the same thing. Cops deal with shootings every day. They have to make split-second decisions every day. They deal with things every day. And they can't be wrong, because when they're wrong, things like this happen. So they have to be right every time. Almost every time. You know what I mean? That's their argument. But at the same time, why are they always wrong when it's black people? That goes back to people trying to police people that they're not familiar with. You know what I mean? So that's the dynamic. And the cop was right. He said that, they deal with shootings all the time, and they just, and I understand, they just want to go home to their families. That's just understandable. Everybody wants to do that at the end of the day. No one wants to die on a job, period, So I can understand them in that fashion, but at the same time, like I said, if the small majority of the bad cops were policed by the good cops, you know what I mean? Now, as I get older, I'm noticing that more and more of society is becoming mixed. So the cops are becoming mixed. So that means that they're understanding both sides of the spectrum a lot of the time. And that's a good thing. So, soon, hopefully things go in the right direction and real police work is done and less black people get killed. Peace.